Welcome to another installment of where I play a game of Arena and then I talk back uh, my thought process behind it, what I did right, what I did poorly, and hopefully doing some learning so I can keep improving. So I again am using my blue and white Angels deck. That's the one I'm currently using when I play Standard, well, a version of it, and I'm continuing to play with that one even though I know it's not the strongest deck that there is out there. So let's watch this match. Okay, I pull up my hand. I notice I only have two lands. But my opponent is going to go first. So that gave me a little bit of wiggle room in what I wanted to do. I did like that I had two drops, and I also had my Destroy Evil available, etc. So this seemed like an okay hand, but again, I just need another land. So then I drop it. And again, no true drops in this one, so not as great of a hand, but I do have more land, so I decided to keep it, putting the Celestial Regulator down to the bottom. Here we go. Alright, they played a Swamp-ish, I think? Yes, Duras Pits, which I thought was very curious because it's a tapped land that comes in, throw down a Plains, and I drew a Plains, which is not very helpful. It's a card tracks Morgant Crown I don't see very often. Again, I drew another land. So in my opening, I've drawn two lands in the first two turns. That's not great. And no two draw. So at this point, I think they're playing mono black, and it just feels slow. Their deck feels slow. My deck is slow, so I'm not quite sure what to do about it. Decide to play an island, and decide that I need something. I need to start doing something, and then I use up all my available mana. And then I got my fourth. So that's my third land out of my first four draws. That's just ridiculous. Another swamp. Here comes a big creature. Alright, now we got Shelly. Now if I had had those two Destroy Evils in the opening that I mulliganed, that would have been nice to have. So anyways, I decided to put some island down, Metropolis Reformer down to see if the triggered ability is wiped away. I know it's not, but, hope eternal that the trigger ability would somehow be wiped away when I am hexproofed. They're thinking, they're thinking, they're thinking, and at this point I pretty much knew I was done unless I got some Destroy Evils. I decided not to block. I wanted to keep my Metropolis Reformer for one turn. And then this became a problem. They decided to put the Cruelty of Gix. I could have negated that if I had an extra piece of mana, and I don't. Right? So that was also a mistake. I played the Seachrome Coast. It comes in tap. Really should have done the Seclude Courtyard at that point to do an Angel. And then that would have freed up 2 mana to then do a negate. But I screwed up. I just put the wrong land down. Alright, decided to play this, but again, I only have one available land. But you look at my top of my library, I've got another land. So 4 out of the first 6 draws of this game were land. Still a little hopeful here, but it's not looking good. And again, I think I made a big mistake. Not leaving mana available for my negate. Their deck at this point felt pretty much a very kind of standard Shelly deck. Just trying to kill me, control me a little bit, and then just kill me. See, this would have been good. If I had had the negate, I could have negated this, stopped it from killing all my creatures with power 2. And then they gave 2++2. That would have been awesome. That would have given me an out. So, I've got nothing. Really don't have anything at this point. Decide to play the Sierra Paragon. Then I play that land instead of the Secluded Courtyard. Again, I don't have any available mana, but if I had played the Secluded Garden before I cast the Sierra, I would have had 2 mana available for a negate. Again, this is my misplay. This is me not thinking through my lands well. Alright, they took my Metropolis Reformer. They play another an Abandoned Mire. They're just toying with me at this point, because really there's nothing I got. Soul Trap, exile one of my creatures. Again, if I had an extra piece of mana, I could have negated that. If I had, right, like, I had opportunity to do some counter spells and I did nothing. Here they go, and then do 8 damage. And I'm dead. So that seems to be a theme that reoccurs over and over again. I misplay my lands. I also, and I sometimes get my mana flooded, where I get a bunch of lands at once rather than creatures, and I can't get my way out of it. So one thing I got to work on is making sure I'm playing the right land at the right time, especially lands that come in tapped or lands that have special abilities or anything when they come in, and also trying to figure out a proper way of keeping mana available when I have counter spells, because that might give me a chance.